Everything's going. Of course, my chair seems to have to hit something. Okay. We are live, supposedly. Let me get everything going here. That is still waiting. Alright. Let's get Rumble up and running. Yeah, you love it when I narrate to you, don't you? 2:30. Ooh, Rumble, you're rough. Oh, Rumble. Come on, baby. Don't do that to me. What is YouTube doing? Okay. There we go. Let me double check here. Okay, we're good. How is it going, everyone? 2:32 a.m. here. Oh, how is it going? Hope everybody had a good Tuesday. Welcome to Wednesday. Oh, wow. Yeah. I am going to start off just a little bit of talk. I know, sorry guys, anybody who comes into this. I know people have a short attention span and a couple seconds they click off and you don't just automatically amuse them. Well, I'm unamusing anyway, so you're screwed. But I did a video earlier today on this channel because I always labeled this channel as politics and pop culture. I've done a few of my pop culture ones, and anybody that can see the room behind me, let alone what you can't see around me, realizes that yes, I do know a decent amount of pop culture. I mean, even down to the, yeah. So, I did a video, and I'm trying to see, maybe I need to split my channels up. I don't know. So, I'm asking right up front, what do you think? Anybody who checks this channel out at all, do you think I should keep it, this one just for politics, and maybe split one of my other channels into a pop culture channel more? Just wondering. Let me know what you think right away. Keep this one just politics and split the pop culture stuff I love also off on another channel, or maybe keep them mixed here. I don't know what the algorithm will think of that. Which on Rumble, I guess you don't have to worry about the algorithm as much. Sorry, guys, I am still making sure. Because earlier, Rumble was really being a poop head, and it still is really running behind. Why it has to seem to run behind. All right, there we go. Good grief. I don't know why it does this. Sorry, Rumble was running way behind. All right, but no, that's just a quick question I had to ask. And, you know, tonight, let's get right into this because I'm tired, but I'm frisky. Tired but frisky. Help from a little bit of Ghost. Got a guy coming to do an estimate of my garage floor in less than 6 hours. But hey, whatever. Gotta get that looked at because, boy, somebody didn't put gutters on my garage when they built it. Caused a problem. I put gutters on, but little damage on the slab. Alright, so let's hop right into this. We're gonna... no long preamble because... You know, we can sit here and pontificate about Gen Z all we want because everybody's always, oh my God, you know, the young generation's got problems. Everybody's been saying that through millennia probably. These kids today. And I definitely don't want to be one, and just because I have this does not mean I'm some old fogey. I've had the white in my goatee since I was like 35, 33, but it seems to have gotten a little more worse lately. But, maybe I should use some of that coloring stuff. Ooh. But we are going to talk a little bit about Gen Z just because they seem to be uniquely screwed in some ways. And I always go back to it's the everyone gets a trophy generation. I was never grounded. My mommy and daddy told me everything came out of my mouth was rainbow farts and unicorn, you know. Yeah, I almost said that backwards. Rainbows and unicorn farts. Well, it could be unicorn rainbows and rainbow farts. Who knows? But no, that's what they've always said. And everything they said was special. Everybody's special. Not everybody's special. Some chew their toenails and eat lead paint for fun, even at age 40. Not everybody's special. Also, these are the same people who were told sticks and stones. Nope, they were told words hurt. Words hurt. Words are violence. These are these softies we've made now. So some of Gen Z is actually doing pretty good, but we have a lot of Gen Z that is not. These are the people that will punch you for disagreeing with them. These are the people who hate for hate's sake because they are missing something in their lives. And I do have a theory on what some of it is. It's social interaction, real social interaction. Even this here, as good as this can get, is not true social interaction. Honestly, live streaming and talking to people, especially, if a channel gets bigger, which mine doesn't, that helps. But true social interaction, going out, hell, even old school arcades gave us interaction. Going to the malls. A lot of people are too lazy to walk at a mall. People don't want to go do nothing. People don't talk in grocery store lines like they used to. Social interaction is going away. People feel disconnected. They feel lost. They feel alone. Why do you think so many people are on SSRIs now? Because we feel alone. That any friends you do have, you really aren't as connected as you used to be. And friendship, and I've run into a lot of people of all ages that say this, friendship is not as loyal as it used to be. Friendship is people like, whatever. Over a small disagreement, they will blow off a friend that they've had for decades. Nobody really feels connected anymore. But that's not the only thing. I really go back to the everybody gets a trophy generation and words hurt crap. And then we come to stuff like this. Let me get me out of the way as much as possible. Zing. Okay. This over at CNBC. Oh, I have to leave my notifications on. Sorry about that. I always apologize, everybody. I need them on because I have an elderly father who lives in the middle of the woods by himself. So, yeah, you can guess the problems I've had with that. All right. Who's sitting in on that Gen Z job interview? It's mom and dad. Yes. There are multiple stories you can pull up, but I just picked this one. Actually, we have another one to look at in a second, which just the headline alone is what made me go, yeah, we're going to use that one. But yeah, Gen Z is bringing their mommy and daddy to their job interviews. How in the name of Zeus's butthole, name that movie, are any potential bosses supposed to take somebody serious when they have to be sitting there at the job interview with mommy and daddy with them? I mean, who's asking the questions? Gen Z, these Gen Z people, or their mom and dad? Who's getting the job here? This is just stupid. I never would have thought to bring my mom and dad on a job interview, and my mom and dad would have looked at me and said, what the hell is wrong with you? My parents would have said, you get your ass in there and do your job interview. It's not my job. I've already got a job. That's what they'd have been saying. You go get your own job. I mean, this is not even that new if you look, but it's becoming more relevant. Again, I've seen some fresher stories. Like I said, I picked and choose. I like this one and the next one I'm going to use. With a slowdown and job market flooded with talent, that's point of view there. Younger workers are turning to an unlikely source to help them in the competition, their parents. 1 in 4 newer articles I see say it's over 26% now, not the 25 here. So even the last year since this was written, it's gone up another 1 or 2%. Ugh. 1 in 4 Gen Zers have brought a parent to a job interview over the last year, according to a new survey of nearly 1,500 Gen Zers by ResumeTemplates.com. There's other articles I've read who are talking out between 26 and 29%. And this was by other groups besides ResumeTemplates.com. It's like, holy shit. Roughly 1/4 have had their parents submit job applications on their behalf. Now, is that because these people are incapable and mom and dad are like, Jesus, get the hell out of my house. I've got to do something to get my poor tard nugget kid out of my house, or they're going to be here till they're 50. Holy crap. I never would have thought of this. My wife never would have thought of this. Her family never would have thought of this. This is weakness. Holy hell. That is what happens when you mix tofurkey, and you mix your soy and your tofu together too much. Oh my Lord. College graduations are in full swing, and so are job interviews for Gen Z candidates. Woohoo! But with a slowdown in hiring, many companies and a job market flooded with certain kinds of talent. Ooh, changed that, didn't they? Certain kinds of talent. Yes, I have 5 gender studies degrees. I have a master's in ancient German language. Ooh, that'll get me a job. Stupid degrees they give out these days. These colleges. Any college getting government grants, you've got to have job classes that will teach people to go to work. Give them a career. And not in 4 years. 2.5 years is more than enough. Get out there, get a good job. Go to work. But with a slowdown in hiring, many companies and a job market flooding talent, some younger workers are turning unlikely sources to help themselves set apart from the competition, their parents. 1 in 4 Gen Zers have brought a parent to a job interview over the last year. Higher now, because this was a year old. And roughly 1/4 have had parents submit job applications on their behalf. According to a new survey, nearly 1,500, I already read this above. Another 13% admit to having their parents complete their human resources screening calls. I mean, okay, let's just say, I'll tell you what, to these Gen Z people or any bosses. Now, if you call to interview somebody on the phone and you talk to a man, but you're hiring a girl, it sets you off a little. But, holy crap, these people can't even handle the human resources and or interview calls. And yes, I know it's only 13%, but if that's how many admit it, it's usually going to be higher. Because when it's something stupid, people usually under-admit. So 13% are admitting it, you could probably add another 5 to 10% at least. Or maybe even another 13%. So we're talking about another quarter. So holy crap. Overall, about 70% of the respondents sought their parents' assistance during the job search. Depends on the assistance. I'm not going to crap on you for that because, hey, Mom, Dad, where's a good place you know of to get a job? Or, hey, you've got experience with this. I get that. I'm not going to be, lifting my leg on that one. During the job search, nearly half said they did so because they felt their parents' input on resume writing or job interviewing techniques were superior to their own. That makes sense. But not bringing mommy and daddy to the interview. 1/3 said it was because they didn't know how to effectively communicate with hiring managers, and an equal percentage admitted to simply being unmotivated to get out in the job market. Both of these are partially the parents' fault. The other part is probably our school system's fault. Once again, when you are teaching kids that everything comes out of your mouth is special, and words hurt, and everybody gets a trophy no matter what you do. You can come in last place, okay. We got schools where they're eliminating honor rolls because it will hurt somebody else's feelings. I mean, what the crap? That is failings in our society right there, and I'm going to blame it right at the foot of parents, and I'm sorry, yes, our schools. What are we doing to these people where they feel so weak? They can't even have a simple job interview, handle that even on the phone at times, let alone having no motivation to get up off their parents' couch. Tell you what, I did grow up in the middle of nowhere, so maybe it's uniquely motivates you when you grow up in the middle of BF nowhere, and getting half your friends live in town, or at least far enough away, where, boy, you're motivated to get a driver's license, and then to get a car, and get out there and do stuff and go places because you can actually go see your buddies and do stuff then and have a life. Some of these kids, I get, maybe you grow up in town, you feel you can walk or take a bus everywhere, okay. So maybe that's uniquely unmotivated along with our teaching problems. But holy crap, to be unmotivated enough not to try to build something for yourself, make something, do something, have a goal. I get satisfaction out of a lot of little things from doing this, to fixing a friend's car, to working in my own house, mowing the grass. I mean, it's crazy that they seem so uniquely unmotivated. And I'm not saying all, but it is a high percentage, a scary high percentage. Gen Z is a hell of a split. There's a lot of Gen Z that is moved more conservative, but the rest of them have just gone way left. It's a scary mix between them. Unmotivation. Once again, not social enough. What helps you be motivated? When you have friends. Friends that you physically meet up with, whether it's in the middle of a field drinking beers or going out to an arcade or walking the mall or just something. In the Quad Cities here, we used to have an underage dance club for people when we were below 21. It was called Stage 2. It gave people places to go. But I know in my area, Quad Cities, 430,000 people here, there is almost nothing for younger people to do. We used to have Miller Time Billiards on 23rd Avenue where we go cruising. Now they made cruising illegal everywhere. There was nothing going on up there. Rarely ever a fight. Never a drag race. Why? Because there were so many cars bumper to bumper. There were gas stations, restaurants. Everybody up there was making money. But then the boomers who enjoyed cruising said, illegal. I feel bad for a lot of these younger people because they've removed what generations did for fun. Now the younger generations have jack shit. They don't feel social, so they don't even go to the malls to hang out and talk or play on their phones together or anything. There's no arcades. They want to just shop online. They don't interact truly with people. And they've lost that, and my phone, I'm having pop-up. Okay. So I think it goes along with the motivation. If you don't have friends, you don't have places you want to go, things you want to do outside of the house, instead of sit there and stream Netflix or peruse Amazon or just chit-chat on TikTok. You just sit there. You don't feel motivated to go out. So in that way, I think also the internet could be a little bit to blame. Also, parents who don't just kick their kids' butt and go, that's it, off the phone or off the TV for this, for the rest of the day. Go outside. Come back when the lights come on, But while asking mom and dad for help with writing a resume or engaging in mock interviews is certainly not new. Mock interviews is one thing, but bringing them, no. It can be quite helpful. HR leaders said what's taking place today during the interview and even onboarding process goes way beyond that. HR leaders interviewed for this story tell of parents reaching out directly to advocate for bigger raises for their kids. Okay, so you're too lazy, stupid, spoiled, or, not driven enough to go out and get your own job, but you're also to all those things where you can't even ask for a raise. I'm sorry, but anybody that needs mommy and daddy to do it for them probably doesn't deserve a raise. You probably deserve to have your wage cut or be fired. Holy crap. Crazy. Others have received emails during the onboarding process, which is such a stupid name. Just hiring process. These dumb onboarding, offboarding, you just say hiring and firing. Why? When did political correctness destroy hiring, firing? Onboarding process. Screw you, it's hiring process. That's what HR has brought us. HR is the big, and I'm an ex-business owner. HR is the biggest load of shit ever foisted upon the business industry. Thankfully, as small business owners, we didn't have an HR department. It was me and my business partner. We were the HR. Because HR department is just a waste of friggin' money that this whole HR shit just stops you from doing standard common sense. There's the ones that brought us the term onboarding instead of hiring. Yeah. There's an ad on the radio. I know I squirrel a lot. Sorry, it's 2:30, almost 3 a.m. and I get to squirrel. There's an ad for like Bambi or some of these other HR systems. I'm not just peeing on Bambi. I'm just saying. But they they like to talk about. They have people. Little mock, like bosses going, "What do? I have a person who smells really bad every day. How do I take care of that? Call Joe's call Joe's HR service." And that's not what the company is, but I'm just saying, interjecting here. Don't want to get them too peeved at me. Call Joe's HR. We'll help you with that. No. A boss, an owner, a manager should be able to go, hey, you got to shower. You can't come in stinking unless you have a major medical reason. Bring a note from the doctor saying, oh, we have a problem. Okay. Other than that, take a flipping shower. Put some of the body spray on. God, we have everywhere. Why do we stink so bad where we all need body spray now? We have these all-over body sprays for your pits and your nether regions. Dude, just get in the shower once in a while. Wipe with a cloth. Holy crap. Why is everybody so stinky? I mean, we had the Tag body spray and all that crap years ago. That was really big, but then that went away. But now this whole body sprays. Good grief. They got some, especially for women, to spray down there because somehow that's gotten really stinky. What in the hell is going on, people? But no, they keep going through in this other one, in this job ad, this HR ad I hear on the radio a lot, or TV. They go, well, I have an employee that never shows up to work on time, and sometimes doesn't even come in some days. How do I handle that? You say you're fired. But call Joe's HR. We'll take care of that. We will have a stern chat with them. Fuck you, you're fired. If you don't do the job I hired you to, you come in reeking, you come in doing stupid shit on the shop computers or whatever, you're fired. HR is a scam. It is. I'll say it. It's a scam. It is leftism shoved into business. Everything with the left. Identity politics, this and that. Some apology, some BS. Where you can't just hire somebody, fire somebody. This all started when you can't call somebody fat. You have to call them the gravitationally enhanced. I don't have a big nose. I'm nasally gifted. Fuck you. I have a lawn dart nose. Just deal with yourselves. But yeah, leftism shoved into the job market. That is HR. Human resources. No. It stands for something else. I ain't going to say it because that, the R word. All right. It's good to see and hear of parents wanting to help their kids with the job search and mock interviews, said Paul Wolf, former chief human resources and scam artist, my opinion, scam artist officer for job site Indeed, and author of the leadership book. Actually, it might be that leadership book, Human Beings First. But parents have to realize that they need to let their kids fly on their own in a job interview. When did we get the thought process where we don't let our kids do a job interview alone is my problem. It's not, we need to realize we need to let them. When did we ever start going, well, shit, I can't let them go alone? Was it exactly, where was that point? And to any parent out there who thinks that way, you realize, what, your kid is stupid? Maybe a little tard-nuggeted? What? Do you realize you failed really bad, or what is going on? I admit, not everybody's smart, but you know. The young person is the one we're interested in hiring. Are you? Are you really? If you even have to write this book, and if they want to bring mommy and daddy, or they on the phone, you have to talk to mommy or daddy, are you really interested in hiring them? I mean, my God. Not the parents. We're trying to assess whether the candidate has the skills to do the job. I don't think they do. Done. Yeah. Many Gen Zers are leaning so heavily on their parents during the job search for a number of reasons, experts said. Laziness is one, I'll say it. Recent layoffs, that has nothing to do with it. Especially the tech sector means more competition for every open role. Still don't need your parents for that. You still can go out and do it yourself. So I don't understand where I need mommy and daddy, because there's a lot of layoffs in my part of the job market. You still get off your own ass, go get your own damn job. Like I said, this HR shit is a huge scam. It's leftism shoved into the job market. Hey, the Texan, how's it going, man? I am up late and pontificating for maybe about another 45 minutes to an hour. And then I got to get to bed because I got a guy coming to do an estimate in trying to see if I can repair a couple spots in my garage slab. So yeah, he's gonna be here, and I'm gonna be one tired little monkey today. Got to go out and drive out a half hour to my parents' place and mow my dad's grass for him. Ugh. Okay, so welcome to Texans. Sorry, man. I'm gonna get on rolling here. If you're interested in anything you missed, feel free to go back from the beginning or check it out later. I did start semi-hot and just kind of went into this. Of course, I being up late, tired, and on caffeine, I am definitely squirreling my way through this. But I always tell people I'm not here to be like every other channel on YouTube, Rumble, or whatever, and just read things verbatim to you. Any monkey can ding, 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 and read you the stuff. Never understood how many channels who just read the same articles get so big. But okay. But that's my failing. But at least I haven't asked my mommy and daddy to help me do it. Oh, I could not believe asking my parents. I could never imagine asking my parents. All right. Recent layoffs, that's a load of shit. The technology used by employers to sort and screen applicants makes it confusing to young people. What should and shouldn't be on their resumes. I'm calling bullshit one more time, again. Because if anybody's going to be confused by today's job market and the way hiring practices are today, it's going to be the older adults. Because older adults sometimes don't keep up on tech, don't know how new things go. That's the way it is. They still try to pay by check. And I'm talking about people in their 50s and sometimes 40s still want to pay shit with check. So, and won't use an ATM. So if anybody's going to be confused about today's job market, it's going to be them, not the kids raised with these things shoved up their nose and butts. And if they can't figure out what's going on with resumes today, look to our amazing public schools and our failed parents. You know, everybody gets a trophy generation. And finally, many Gen Zers grew up in a world where mom and dad had and still have careers. Yeah, kind of throughout history and throughout time. A lot of people grew up in households where mom and dad or mom or dad or whatever worked and probably weren't done and retired when their children started looking for jobs. So, once again, more HR bullshit. These people. As they look to find their own way in the job market, there's no shortage of parental advice and involvement and how it should be done. Yes, there is. I grew up, and people generations before grew up, and I know because I went and asked when I started reading about this stuff. I got friends and family, all different ages, and they, never would have gone with my kid to a job interview. Never would have done my kid's on-phone job interview. Never would have thought a resume for them. Never would have gone and asked for a raise for my kid. Just like my parents, like I said earlier in the stream, my parents look at me and go, yeah, I got my job. You go get your own. You go do it. Go. If I'd have asked my parents, they looked at me like something wrong. They'd have brought me to the doctor right away. Latchkey kid here, some will never know. Yeah, I get it. Oh, man, you're right. Oof. All right, now what we got here is a bunch of lazy parents, partially, who let the TVs and the cell phones raise the kids, and the schools and everything else. Hey, why should we get involved in our kids' lives? I want to catch the last episode of Friends, I'm only saying Friends because that was kind of, if kids are out hunting for jobs today, Friends, you get it. There's other bad people going, Friends, boy, you're a little behind. No, yeah. The problem with that, said Stacy Haller, Chief Career Advisor at Resume Builder, oh boy, is that some of these parents haven't looked for a new job in 10, 20 years. If your kid needs help finding a job, get an expert to help them. Of course. Here, let's pay some money to somebody. We now have huge corporations built on this. Because once again, people are too stupid to go out and get their own job, to talk to other people at an interview, to sit down in front of a potential boss or manager and go, yep, okay, here's what I can do. Okay, and I'll answer your questions with back and forth. They can't handle face-to-face interaction. Now, if you want to talk to them through the phone, they'll be sitting there, yeah, that's great, But as soon as you get them face-to-face, they're like, person, ew. That's what's going on. Made them weak. Get an expert. Bite me. If your kid needs an expert, one, hey, don't you have to have money before you start spending it on getting experts? Ooh, a follow-up session with a candidate and his parents who were sitting in on the Zoom call revealed that mom and dad told him he didn't need to get back to the company right away with an answer. What idiot parent. I mean, we're seeing, like I said earlier on this, that we got some real moron parents here too. I mean, actually, we're at the age now where we are not only seeing the everybody gets a trophy generation, the words hurt generation, we are seeing their kids who are now seeing the uber words hurt, any words hurt, and how dare you disagree with me, and, I'm the mayor of Rainbow Unicorn Skittle Land. So the words hurt, everybody's special, everybody gets a trophy generation have now had kids. Oh shit. So yeah. Now we're seeing that. So we got parents that never should have had kids trying to help their kids. Wow. Parents have no idea how different the job search process is today from when they were doing it a decade ago, or how they might be hurting their kids' chances of getting a job. Yet up here, the other guy said they fall back on parents because parents do know about this stuff. Make up your mind, guys. I told them a $15 billion company isn't waiting around for your decision. They've already filled the job with someone else, Holler said. Parents have no idea how different the job search process is today from when they were doing it a decade ago, or how they might be hurting their kids' chance of getting a job. But I already read that, but up here, this guy says the opposite. They fall back on their parents because they do know, because they have skills. Out-of-date advice. Yeah, we can go into this. I just found it so scary that this is going on, that 25 to 28% of these Gen Z people think it's okay to bring mom and dad to an interview, or have them do the phone call, or have them sit on a Zoom, or have them write the resume. Holy shit. I mean, just this one here. I picked this one for a reason. Once again, this is not new, but it's starting to come back up. You can find much fresher articles talking about this recently. Why I'm sorry, just this whole sentence is why I chose this. I'm not going to rehash through the whole thing. There's a few things bullet points out of it to look at, but oh my God. Why Gen Z should leave their helicopter parents out of the job interview process. How about because you're supposed to be grown up enough to hold a job? If you aren't grown up enough to get yourself a job, or to at least look for one by yourself, oh shit, we are in trouble. I don't know how you're going to handle having a job if you aren't even able to look at it. I'm not saying don't get your parents' input. Don't ask your parents for any help. But man, I'm telling you right now, mom and dad shouldn't be going to interviews, shouldn't be sitting in the room, shouldn't be sitting on Zoom calls, shouldn't be doing the phone call for you and all of it. Gen Z are often misaligned as lazy or difficult in the workplace. Wonder why. Wonder why that would be. What do you think? So yeah, once again, we can go into this, but useless degrees are all in debt. Okay, mom and dad, that's partially your fault. If your kid's going to spend your money on some dumbass degree, you say no. But mommy, I really want my fourth, gender studies degree, and my third ancient dead language degree, and my tennis shoelace weaving degree. And mom and dad should be going, shit no, I worked for that money. You're going to take shit that gets you a job in about 2 years. You get 2 years on my dime in college. Get on it. There you go. I mean, good grief. So yeah, this just shocked me, so I want to talk about it at the beginning. All right. We're going to move on a little. Oh, Texan, the world is relentless. If you're going to be stupid, then you better be tough. That is a good point. And the problem is, we've now raised, about two generations of people who are not tough. People who cannot handle being disagreed with, can't handle words because it hurts them now. Whoever started teaching children words hurt instead of sticks and stones, we should be able to go back in time and remove them from the timeline. We got to do something. Give dad a condom or give mom the pill and make sure that person was never conceived who thought of that. Oh, words hurt. Oh my God. I don't even give credence, and I know I can take some hell for this. I don't even give credence to the phrase cyberbullying. That right there shows how weak-willed and stupid we've made people today. Bullying is when somebody is pushing you, laying hands on you, shoving your head in a toilet, punching you, holding you down, stealing your lunch. Bullying. Shoving you into a locker. Not, oh my God, they typed bad things about me online. Whatever shall I do? Block. Don't look. Remove them. There's reporting tools. It is easier than ever not to be bullied online. How can you be bullied by somebody that is 100 miles away from you or 10 miles away from you? Timmy down the street, a mile away, is typing bad things. Ooh, that's imminent fear. That is the words hurt generation. It is stupid. Cyberbullying just shows how weak we are. People have ended themselves over cyberbullying because people just wouldn't leave me alone online. Why did you keep reading this shit? Why did mom and dad keep reading this shit, letting you read the shit? Why didn't you just hit block? Done. No, these people are so addicted to this crap and weak-willed, they can't even stop reading it. They want to be a victim. Well, then they drag themselves into victimhood so deep, they will end themselves. Because people said bad things. Oh, my Lord. All right. But moving on. Uh-oh. I didn't want to do that one anyway. I'm not paying you a subscription also. So, bleh. All right. Anybody heard Spain, Portugal, and a couple other countries in Europe had power outages? And it was huge. And they put out this story saying it was a meteorological event that caused vibrations on the right frequency to mess with the power grid. I don't know if I believe that, because I've never heard of that in my life. I'm not saying I'm some type of electrical engineer or anything, and I do know about electromagnetic induction and everything else. As an auto tech, you are trained in electronics. I did take electronics before I went into auto tech also. I do have some abilities in that. I have built circuit boards and stuff. I know how to zap each other with capacitors and stuff, but electromagnetic induction, I don't know, because I've never heard of this dropping huge areas of our world down without power for hours and hours. I don't know. Seems kind of hinky to me. Spain and Portugal switch back on, seek answers after biggest ever blackout. I'm more thinking and by the way, this comes on the heels of recently in other areas like Iran and other parts of the world, we've also seen other crazy blackouts. And usually with some weird explanation. And I have to wonder, like many others, if this is some type of cyber attack issue. Or are we just so low on skilled workers we can't maintain our infrastructure anymore, which is a possibility. Because as Elon Musk and a bunch of other people are telling us, we are on the cusp of a huge population drop. We have a gap coming up that's big of a certain age people. Bad enough, it may put a lot of colleges out of business. So if we are at a problem, we're having enough good workers to keep our infrastructure going. Oh boy, it's about to get really bad the next couple of years if their numbers are right. But either way, I don't know whether if it's that or if it's some type of cyber attack. Because I'm not gonna believe that a weird storm caused electromagnetic induction at the right frequency to screw up power grids in multiple countries for hours. and hours. And this is after something in Iran. Then we've had them over in this country. We've had a few in Russia. We've had a few in America. Something starting to sound like somebody's poking buttons here. But that's just me. All right, over at Reuters, Madrid, April 29th. Spain and Portugal switched their power back on after the worst blackout in their history. Well, California has what they call brownouts all the time, but that's their own fault automatically. Though authorities offered little explanation, not very little, for what had caused it or how they would prevent it happening again. Traffic lights were back on, train, metro, everything back on. We get it. My God, stretch that out. Sudden outage had seen the equivalent of 60% of demand in Spain drop in 5 seconds. Holy crap. Imagine it. 60% of their power went. That is crazy. Well, Spanish grid operator, oh my God. Anybody watch Salty Cracker? On Tuesday, ruled out a cyber attack as the cause. Do you believe them? Would they tell you? No, they wouldn't tell you because they don't want to scare everybody. They would lie. So even if it was a cyber attack, I don't know if they'd tell us. Spain's High Court said it would investigate whether the country's energy infrastructure had suffered a terrorist attack. Well, wouldn't that be cyber attack? Make up your mind. If you rule it out, then why are you investigating it? I always say you got to watch wording. I'm not the most sharpest tool in that there shed, but if you say you're ruling it out, but then you're going to investigate it, but then the Prime Minister turns around and says they haven't ruled out any hypothesis. So which is it? Is it ruled out? You're investigating it? You're not ruling it out? I'm here and everything. Let's see. Meteorological event takes out Spain, Portugal. It's not just Spain and Portugal. It's multiple countries. There are a good amount of them. Spain and Portugal now powered by alternative energy. Texas laughs and says dinosaur bones don't lie. I'll tell you, man. I have no hatred for new forms of energy. My problem is shoving them on everybody before the technology is there to support us, before we know the downsides. I've talked about this on other streams where, now the Texan, you're right, because there's a lot of new tech that doesn't work that well in certain situations. Hell, let's just take EV cars and debit cards. Everybody's, I love my debit card. Okay, that's great. But what happens when the power goes out? In my area alone, we have had derechos and tornadoes and other big storms that have knocked the power out for between 3 days and 2 weeks sometimes at the worst. Well, guess what? When you don't have power for a week or two, your debit card is fucking useless. Your EV is gonna have a hard time charging off a gas generator. Gas generators do not charge EVs well. So, yeah, there is a huge problem with new tech. And in my area, there's been multiple days in a row where we've had no wind and no sunlight. And that's where, like the Texan, you're right. That dinosaur bone stuff and the coal and everything is much more reliable. Like it or not, people, it is reliable. And wind and solar, not so much. I have a friend in Scotland, though, where he says his wind turbines there, they got a huge windy valley they have them in. Hey, that's great. But not everybody has that. Now, you won't see in Scotland a lot of solar. If you put solar there, you're not doing a good job. Because it's a lot of cloudy, rainy. But then the solar and wind have their own problems. The turbines only last so long. They cost an insane amount. Sometimes you never make back the money and electricity that it costs to put them up. Then when they go bad, I'm meant to be buried because there's stuff in them. They're toxic. Then the solar panels get damaged, have to be cleaned. And then when they're bad, they go bad. They have a lifespan. They get broke. Then they're toxic. And it's not doing the environment much better, and it is very unreliable power. We should be going to stick with our dinosaur bones and add some nuclear in there. But yeah, I love how these people are just throwing out all this crap. I mean, it's just like, what? You can't rule out cyber attack, so. We must not rush to conclusions, says the people who just gave 3 up here at once. maybe you guys should have a meeting before you go and throwing out your conclusions. But they did. We better not rush to conclusions like we did. We will find out what happened in those 5 seconds. Okay. I don't know why you call it 5 seconds, but whatever. Reset identified 2 instances of power generation loss, probably from solar plants in Spain's southwest that caused instability in the electric system and led to a breakdown of its interconnection with France. Now, that's the other thing they're saying. Well, there was some solar incident that caused an electromagnetic spike in the panels that sent that through here. It's like, I don't think so. And if it's that twitchy, we shouldn't be using it. Because our sun does have periods of heavy activity. So it means we're just asking for problems. But hey, you feel free and go ahead and base your whole energy production on this. So then you got power outages and brownouts and all this other crap. Or where you're not allowed to use an air conditioner or anything else. Spain is one of Europe's biggest producers of renewable energy. No such thing. I'm sorry, but there isn't. Because to get that renewable energy, you are building shit that is bad for the environment. Windmills and the wind turbines and the solar panels are not good for the environment. You are mining to get tons of elements to make these things. Also, you have to have huge amounts of concrete to mount the pads for those crazy wind turbines. How's that environmental for you? A lot of this crap is not as renewable as they like to tell you it is. And the blackouts sparked debate about whether the volatility of supply from solar or wind has made its power system. Well, nice editing there. Power systems more vulnerable. Yes, it has. Hell, Texas found out with some of their wind. Some of their wind farms down there. Investment bank RBC said the economic cost of the blackout could range between 2.25 billion and 4.5 billion euros. Blaming the Spanish government being too complacent about infrastructure in a system dependent on solar power with little battery storage. The problem is storage solutions for that big a solar or wind it's very hard to have something that large. I mean, the battery systems you would need for cities or countries is immense. And imagine all them dirty chemicals we got to dig out of the earth to do those. This stuff is not cleaner than gas or even running the new clean coal plants. Not the shit China and India is running. Because, trust me, we have clean coal that runs very clean. And what about nuclear, guys? Come on, stop screwing around. There's a nuclear plant not too far from me called Cordova. It's been running for decades. It's not even running on full power, but puts out between 30 and 50% of the power for this whole area and even sends power to Chicago. That is crazy. Off one little footprint. I mean, wow. And that plant is older. They've updated it, but it's nowhere near what the newest plants would be able to produce. An even smaller footprint. Yeah, we need to not just put our eggs in this solar wind basket. Sorry, Seat said power returned to his Barcelona plant at 1 a.m. on Tuesday, but that it still wasn't at full production. Jeez, guys. Volkswagen said his plant in Navarra lost a day of production equivalent to 1,400 cars as it was not able to restart until 2:30 p.m. Sounds like a you problem. You don't have, gasoline or diesel backup generators? Seriously. You know, you would think if you really want to go green, Volkswagen, don't you have solar and wind in your own factory? I'm just saying. Wind farms are like a mouse fart in a hurricane compared to compared to coal and oil energy. Oh, 100%. Gasoline, oil, coal, nuclear. Yes, 100% the Texan. Hey, Jeff Alt, how's it going, man? I'm up late just pontificating for a little bit yet. How you doing, man? But yeah, state of emergency. Javier Diaz, a 24-year-old student, was forced to sleep in Madrid's movie star arena, and music venues are finding himself stranded in the capital. Luckily, I just finished walking the Camino de Santiago Christian pilgrimage, so we had quite a good night. Okay. Madrid authorities put on free buses to get people to work Tuesday. What are you doing at work if the power is out? I'm just saying, 60% of the power in your country is out. I'm not sure you're doing a lot. But once again, the people in Spain use debit cards. This is why I'm telling you, always keep cash. A little story I've told before. On one of our last power outages, we had a derecho. Oh, no, it was actually when the tornado came through a year and a half ago. Our power was out here for about 5 days. I have a generator. I kept some gas here for my generator, too. I'm smart. But we're going to go get some more gas. Got in the truck, which I already had full because I knew the storm was coming. Went down to the gas. We found a gas station that had power. Why? Because they had a generator. Smart. Yet, what they didn't have was, all it would do is powering the pumps and a couple lights inside. They were cash only, no debit cards. All the grocery stores around here, cash only, no debit cards. And there were people begging us at the gas station, can you please give us some money, please? We don't have anything. And I'm looking at my money going, I'm sorry, my family needs this. There were multiple people who didn't know what to do. They were at the gas station with cars on empty or trying to get gas cans full for generators. They had nothing. They were somehow smart enough to buy a generator, but not smart enough to keep cash to pay for stuff. We were able to buy food. We were able to buy gas for our generator. I mean, I was a nice guy. I did put my neighbor's food in my freezers and fridges and stuff. Yeah. But, yeah, just stupid. Debit cards and electric cars, I'm telling you, work great until there's a storm and power outage. Then you got a problem. Always keep some cash, folks. Some cash and some gas on hand. But, yeah, I'm not a big prepper, but keep some stuff. Oh, Jeff, you're making nuts again. Oh, man. What size nuts you doing tonight, man? You doing English or metric? Better be doing metric, man. Tell you what, in my toolbox, and I've been doing this for 30 years, almost everything is metric. I have very little English stuff. English system never made sense to me. It just didn't. But yeah, many people... Now, this is a little freaky. Many people were ended, YouTube, from suspected carbon monoxide poisoning in the northwestern region of Galicia after switching a generator to power an oxygen machine for one of the victims. Regional Emergency Services said. Where was this generator? What, you have it in the same room? I mean, how do you get it? Okay, and if it is in the same room, how do you get a generator to somehow inject gases into somebody's oxygen system? That makes zero sense. 5/16 and 3/4. So 8 millimeter and 19 millimeter. Oh, man. I don't want how these people, I love when people in this country want to idolize Europe. Dude, these people in Europe sound dumber than a box of rocks. It's like California gone mad over there. 3 people. Bars and restaurants counted the cost loss of produce after fridges and freezers are switched off for more than 8 hours. Well, okay. But yeah, this thing, I don't believe the story. I don't believe they had a oopsie that the weather caused it. So yeah. I didn't want to spend much time on this. I thought it was really just, ha. That's just me. We'll get 8 mil last week. Okay, let me ask you a quick question here, Jeff. No shit. In one day, one shift of work, how many nuts do you make? Seriously. Because that is crazy. There's somebody like you, and there's more people like you all around the country. And we wouldn't keep making them if we weren't using them. So then I'm like, geez Louise, how many nuts are we using in this country? I mean, maybe you're shipping them overseas too. So I'll tell you what, thanks to Trump, oh man, our steel and aluminum industries are happy puppies. So are the UAW workers. But boy, the lefty media sure is trying to doom and gloom. I will say in about a month and a half, we may see some prices going up on some stuff, and I know it. Stuff that's shipped in, stuff from on Amazon may go up. I get it. Honestly, I think 90% of the people who voted for Trump know this. Trump didn't hide this. He openly said there's going to be pain. You can't fix the absolute mud hole our government has fucked us into for 50 years without pain. And the lefties who want to bitch about this tariff thing have zero solution. I've said this before, their only solution is to let it happen. Here's the Vaseline. We'll make it hurt a little less, but we just have to roll over and let it happen. We'll call the Chinese grape crisis center later, but let it happen. Just close your eyes and think of a happy place. That's the lefties' idea. Change nothing, fix nothing, fight nothing. We're done, we can't fight it. So yeah. All right, let's see here. I did 8 mil last week, a quarter and 5/16, $250,000, 250,000 nuts each, or 250,000 together. Wow, 250. Okay, so let's say, okay, you made 20,000 3/4 inch nuts in 10 hours. And I'm betting you don't have insane shitloads, or they wouldn't have you keep making that many. So that means you and, let's say, 5,000 other people like you in this country making that many nuts a day. Shit, we use a lot of nuts. Wow. And I bet we make more nuts than bolts, because everybody always drops a nut and loses a nut somewhere. Damn things. All right. Oop, I didn't want that anyway, did I? Well, maybe. Let's see here. Watch the whole. Oh, ha. Yeah, I did have this here to talk about. Washington's home ownership gap addressed by new law, but concerns over cost remain. Washington State, a bill signed by Governor Bob Ferguson, is expected to help marginalized populations buy a home. Are you ready? In case you didn't already translate that in your own mind, which I'm betting you all did, but for any smooth-brained lefty that might run into this and go, huh? All that means is, if you're white, you ain't getting a loan from the state. You're not getting a low interest or forgivable loan, which means a giveaway from the state. Now, if you's Browns, you's gonna get a loan from the state or a freebie. That is illegal. That is racist. House Bill 1696 makes a few changes to the Covenant Homeownership Program that Washington launched in 2024. The CHP provides zero-interest loans to help first-time home buyers cover down payments and closing costs. A zero-interest loan, okay. Problem is, I did some other reading. I got some other articles I did not bring in because I only want to be here so long. Who says that most of these loans are forgiven. Means it's a giveaway. To first-time homebuyers, we came together as nonprofit in 2021 to talk about disparity in home ownership. Let me help you with the disparity. When 12% of the population is committing 55 to 60% of all the violent crimes, the drug crimes, and stuff like that in this country, that's probably why we have a disparity. When your idea of fun is gangbanging, dude, rich NFL and NBA players who are multimillionaires end up going back and still can't resist going back and getting caught gangbanging or getting their lives ended in some gangbanging incident. So if these rich, multi-melanated peoples can't resist it, going back to the ghetto home and banging, the home skillet's still there. You ain't going out buying a home and getting a loan. You don't go into the bank going, I need a loan. Oh, sorry, yeah, that's my Glock switch sticking out. Sorry, I'll be right back. I gotta go out and shoot a shorty. I mean, come on, it's stupid. There's a reason there's a disparity. It has nothing to do with the less melanated holding them back. It has to do with they have a cultural problem. And this crap they're doing is racism. You don't fix racism with racism. Home ownership among lower income people of color. Hey, guess what? I'm a color. I'm kind of pinkish. I'm a color. Underprivileged. What's underprivileged? We all have the same privileges in this country. That's a bullshit term. I smell shite. Underserved. You go to a bad restaurant? I'm underserved. Give me my burger now. Underserved? That's stupid. I don't mind soft serve, but underserved? And how we can make a change because COVID really changed everything. What? Well, go talk to the Chinese about that. Change everything. Loretta Kale, the director of home ownership, Parkview Services of Como News. Kale said they just could not reach everyone, so they in the nonprofit sector worked with legislators to do something racist. Expanding this program, they didn't expand it as a step towards closing the home ownership gap between black and white households in our state, said Rep. Jamila Taylor. Hey, Democrat, surprise. The primary sponsor of the bill. She says expanding. You racist, jackass, Democrat piece of crap. You didn't expand it. You shrunk it. You took back. So white taxpayers aren't going to be helping any white people. White taxpayers get no benefit. You pulled it back. You didn't expand it. It was already open to people of all the browns and yellows and pinks and blues, whatever persuasion. You just took away from one racial group. That is not an expansion. This is more of that liberal math. This is more 2 + 2 = 5. Asking a Browns person to come to work on time is racist. Oh my God. You know that shit. But that very explanation is what some are now calling reverse discrimination. There is no such thing as reverse discrimination or reverse racism. There is only racism and discrimination. There is no reverse. Because if you really think, if anybody took an English class, here's racism. What is reverse racism? No racism. Here's discrimination. What is reverse discrimination? No discrimination. It's a bullshit term. Absolute bullshit term. You cannot, anybody that's taken 3rd grade English knows that's a bunch of bullshit. Reverse discrimination. That means no discrimination. Stupid. No discrimination. Expanding this program. See all the bullshit terms? This is how backwards the left is. Every time the left says something, it's absolutely backwards. Which is why they want you to believe that you can identify as a helicopter today. Everything they say, they change in meanings, they just say things backwards, and they project. Jeff Cleveland tries to imprison as many less melanated people they can. Affirmative action in reverse. Yeah! Dude, I read there's more, not just Cleveland, there's a couple of other places doing that. Well, hell, we can be honest here. I know I can, oops, sorry, I got to check real quick here, making sure that Rumble didn't have a problem. Oh, did it? No, it's still going. Okay. By the way, hello to everybody on Rumble. I do see there's a few of you there. Thank you. But yeah. And, okay, we grew up with common sense. This whole bullshit story about, the justice system treats the Browns people much worse than the non-Browns. Bullshit. I live in the Quad Cities. It's a pretty peaceful area, really. We're mixed here like crazy. But we've seen story after story after story throughout my lifetime where a Browns person gets way different treatment in the law than the non-Browns. We had a guy here, he committed 24 major violent felonies. And they kept letting him out, giving him weird. This one judge gave him, you go to church. She actually said, put him in a church program after he beat up his 14th person or something violently and put them in the hospital for months. Because she didn't want to appear racist. Well, what happened? They kept doing this, and this guy ended a couple people violently and badly. Now he's in jail, but now he's already fighting to get out. He's only been in for a couple years. Many of us can look around wherever we live in the country and go, yep, that's what happens. They get many, 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 many nibbles on that apple that non-melanated don't. That's why I hate that damn phrase that some of these lefty brown people will use and go, you don't know what it's like living black in America. Screw you. You don't know what it's like living white in America, where we are blamed for everything that you do. Everything you do is somehow our fault. Iquenso ocha, Iquenso ocha. Ah, what movie is that from? Yeah, White Devil, White Devil. We are the cause of everything to some of them people. It's nuts. And I have a bunch of black friends who think it's a load of shit. They go, you don't see me in the ghetto. No, it's choices. But living white in America is no picnic to you, some of you brown people. Let me tell you. We're blamed for everything. Even though, hey, only like 3 to 5% of white peoples ever had slaves. So screw you. And a shit ton of white people got themselves deleted in a war just purposely to get you not to be slaves. So, but yeah, there's multiple places that don't want to jail the Browns folks. So yeah, but that expansion, but that very expansion was called discriminating, saying using taxpayer dollars to enforce racial quotas. It is, and it is illegal. That racist shit in our government agencies is illegal. Now imagine, and I always like to play this game because it really rings true. Imagine this was reversed. If they were going to suddenly go, we're not going to give loans to, we're gonna make sure we give the majority of all this money to the crackers folks, to the saltines out there, to my friends that are the Ritz variety, not the Browns folks. Oh shit, we would have another summer of love. They'd be screeching and screaming about how racist it is. But it's not racist when it's suddenly the other. What? Yeah, I can't get my head that far up my ass. That's why racism is racism and discrimination is discrimination. There is no such thing as reverse. Kyle called that unfortunate. Stop it. What I don't think they're taking into consideration is the overall impact housing has on so many other factors that affect their lives, like crime, education, safety, housing where they live. You know, not in my backyard sort of thing. What? Jeez Louise. Who wrote this? Kale said the program started July 24th is working to help people willing to do the work. No. The problem is if you go look at the HUD numbers and a lot of the other agencies around the country that give away stuff like this to the less fortunate, whatever, they don't care about the house. If they don't work for it like everybody else, busted their ass, saved the money for a down payment, put their blood, sweat, and tears into it, they don't give a shit. Look at the turnover at HUD. It's nuts. Because these people don't give a shit. It's like Section 8 housing. They tore down one in my area and built a whole gorgeous area of government housing. And it really was a freaking nice place. A mix of nice apartments and nice houses. Within 5 years, it is the highest crime area and the biggest shithole in the area. Because they didn't work for it. It was handed to them. They do not care. You care about something if you work for it. Yeah. The regional CHP supplies no interest loans for first-time home buyers that are not paid back until the house sells or is refinanced. Loan can exceed 20%, blah, 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 blah. Now under HB 6096, income eligibility is raised to 120% of the AMI. Ooh. Now see, here's where I said, this new law also includes loan forgiveness after 5 years if the household income is 80% less of AMI. But if you raise that to 120%, 80%, you're jacking it up so these people can make really damn good money and still get that forgiven and given back. The unanswered question is, who will absorb that cost? Will taxpayers be on the hook for the loans that are forgiven? Yes, you will. Rep. Taylor's office told Como News the program is 100% funded through a document recording fee, which comes from the taxpayers, not the general fund. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which pocket it comes from is still coming from the pocket of the taxpayer. God, I hate the double talk from politicians like that. Well, it's not really coming from your taxes, it's coming from this general fund. Where'd the general fund come from? Well, from your taxes. Jackasses. Supporters of the bill pointed out that 69% of white households in the state own their homes, compared to just 34% of black households. Now, let me help you here. Let's do a little bit of math. America is a 62% white country. Okay. It is a 12% black country. Seems like the black people are doing pretty good. White people are just about at their percentage on the home ownership. Now, black people at 12%, I don't know. Seems like they're doing pretty good. I don't know. I'm just saying. You know, that math doesn't add up. 34%, 69%, you know. But 34% of black households. They're doing okay. So it's just crap, and I don't give a rat's ass what color somebody is. Once again, the left sees everything through race and gender and all this other identity crap. I just see that somebody work for their house. All right, Jeff, the way I see it, there are two types of people, excuse makers and solution makers, 100%. And I'll also raise you and say there are two other types of people, those who earned it and those who didn't. If you don't want to earn it, we shouldn't give it to you. DEI, didn't earn it. That's what it means. The idea behind HB 1696 is raising the AMI threshold, allow more people in the state to buy a home. You already said you're edging it towards brown folks. So the whole idea is racism, discrimination. We're just trying to give them a way. Nice. God, once again, who did the editing? Give them a way, not a way that maybe they never thought existed. And again, there are so many programs that are offered in Washington State that people are only hearing about this. If there's a shitload of other programs, why do we need another taxpayer-funded program? And we don't give. See, the phrase give right here is the problem. Give. No, earn it. I didn't get my house. It's not some Taj Mahal. It's actually pretty small to most people. It's way under the average household cost and size in this country. But I worked for it. Even with my crappy health problem, I worked for it. I earned it. I paid for it. I didn't ask somebody to pay my loan or anything. Same with my college course. Same with my wife's college courses. Just stupid. How many programs do we need to give away something that a lot of us have earned? Why are we always Democrats are always trying to give away something. You earn money and buy your house. You go to college, you pay your way through college. You pay your loans. You buy a car, you pay your car loan. You pay for your food, you pay for stuff. Oh no, they're trying to give away to other people who didn't earn it the stuff you and I worked for. So not only are we paying for ours, they want us to pay for theirs. Now, I'm not a big one. Oh, life has to be fair, but that is unfair. And that is our government is not supposed to be playing favorites and taking away from the hardworking earned its and giving it to the grasshoppers. Julie Barrett, the founder of Conservative Ladies of Washington, said the law will likely drive up home prices. Not likely, it will. Every time government gets involved, starts giving people money, then these owners and renters go, hey, we can just raise the prices. Happens every time. And I'm going to bet you're going to find Miss Democrat up here. I'll bet she's got some money in on this. What do you want to bet? She's going to make some money as the prices go up. I'll have to try to look into that. Prices go up and draw up closing costs also due to increased demand, making it tougher for non-eligible buyers. Yeah. Also has representatives from a nonprofit housing counseling organization oversight committee. Yeah. Yeah. But the basing it on race is my problem. Ugh. Just stupid. Did I do that twice? I clicked it? No. Okay. That's a nice house. I wouldn't mind that place. All right. I was homeless from 1988 to 1991. I never gave up and earned everything I have. Damn right. And that's America. Not to play Chumbawamba. You get knocked down, you get back up again. That's America. You come here legally from another country. Welcome. You come here waving the American flag, speaking English. Welcome, American. You come here illegally. Screw you. You want me to give you. You want somebody like Jeff to give you what he had to bust his ass to earn. He had to pull himself up by his bootstraps and get there. You know, you should not be given what he, me, and millions of other Americans have worked for. Through all types of down times, we got there. You can get there. There's no magic formula. There's no, ooh, the skin tone did it. I don't know what anybody's skin tone is on here. I don't give a rat's ass. See, I don't care what anybody's skin tone or gender is. Honestly, I don't even care if you're trans. Until you start shoving it in my face, bringing it around my nieces, my wife's nieces, my wife, other women in my family, and telling me I have to conform to all that. I don't give a shit. So, yeah. But, yeah, we're going to move on from that. But, yeah. Yeah, Jeff, you are right. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't say only in America, but I'd say majority in America. America is the land where we can do this. 100%, buddy. I couldn't agree more. America is the preeminent place yet. And that drives me nuts about the left, besides a lot of other things. I mean, I don't want to talk about pet peeves anymore because I got a herd of them because of Democrats these days. Democrats always talk about how racist and horrible this country is. Then why are all the Browns people coming here? We're so hateful of other religions. And why are other religions coming here? Why are people from other first world nations coming here? More than they go to any other first world nation. Because we are the place. We are the place where you can get somewhere. 100%. Do I blame other people that have more than me? No. Yes, some luck can be involved, some health helps, but they worked for it. Some are just talented fuckers. I'm not going to sit here and bitch and moan about everybody has more than me. You know, whatever. It happens. But in America, we all get the chance to get somewhere. We have equal opportunities. Not equal outcome. We have to work for that. All right, let's head on over. We're going to talk a little bit about Trump's first 100 days. A little bit about that, and then we're going to get out of here pretty soon. So I got to be up in a few hours. Over C3 on X as we celebrate President Trump's first 100 days. Remember, they were never supposed to happen. Enjoy every second of it and pray those that did this to stop him will face justice. Yes. They tried to end Trump. We still know jack and shit about that dude who did that. I'm not going to go all tinfoil hat. But it's funny how we can know every single thing about every J6 person who even came near Washington, D.C., let alone ever went near the Capitol. We can know everything about them, find every one of them, but we know jack shit. They still want to say, well, we can't get into his cell phone and some other encrypted stuff. Who the fuck are you? Are you CIA, NSA, and Secret Service? FBI? You can't get into this? If you can't get into that, then how are we going to trust you to deal with cyber problems? Load of crap. We know jack. They are telling us nothing about this guy. Hey, how much did they tell us? Once again, I always bring up, and when everybody tries to push J6 at you, you go May 29th, 2020. The Washington, D.C. riots. Yeah, they've memory hold that one nicely. Knocked down fences of the White House. Burned down 2 guard posts on White House grounds. Injured 200 plus. Washington police and Secret Service burned a church across the White House. The president had to be put in a bunker. They made fun of him, called him Bunker Boy, but they memory hold that. That was more of an insurrection than J6 was. How many were arrested? Where was the government hunting people down? Yeah. Now this one. This guy, we barely know a damn thing about the guy who put the bullet through Trump's ear. Let alone the other jackass. There's still stuff coming out with the jackass in Florida that tried to take him down. And there's been another one. There's another one that was, even I've forgotten about as I've memory hold it. So, sheesh. I don't trust most Republicans. They are waiting Trump. Yeah, I agree, Jeff. I don't trust Republicans either. I call them Republicans, as in can't, cannot. I also use a phrase that I know other friends use, uniparty. The uniparty establishment. That is the reason that our government can somehow get nothing done for you and me, even if 70% of the American population for a couple decades has said we want voter ID. That's 70% say we want voter ID, but our government doesn't do it. But boy, if they want to do something for them, they can pass it like that overnight on you. So I do not trust them. I call them all uniparty. There are a few good ones, but there are very few. And that is a problem I have. So I agree with you 100%. 100%, Jeff. But I am pissed off that we still know jack shit about this guy. And I do not go tinfoil hat lightly, but I will say there is something stinky about this. There was way too much coincidence. Occam's razor, you know. It is so unlikely that somehow everybody screwed up, left this open Pac-Man shaped, you know, area where they just left this one building out, even though it was perfect shot area. My God, that is the perfect sniper's nest. 100%. I mean, God, they had snipers on the other roof. Why didn't you have snipers there protecting from there? Just saying. Pretty stupid is what I'm thinking. Once again, I smell shite. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to think something stinks here. When you pile coincidence upon coincidence upon coincidence upon coincidence, failure upon failure upon failure, you know, come on. It's stupid. But thank God we got Trump in there, honestly. 100 photos, 100 days of Trump. This is nice. I don't know if this has sound. Put my headphones on, because if it's got music, I may have to cut it off, because YouTube will copyright claim you, will let people copyright claim you illegally, and will not back you, the creator, even if you're following fair use. So I will puff this up. I may be in the way a little, but you'll get the idea here. Let me see here. Let me hit play. Sound is on, but I may have to nix
Today
it.
officially marks 100 days of promises made and promises kept by President Trump. This has truly been the most historic start to a presidency in American history.
100%.
The American people trust in President Trump. As President Trump has said before, the best is yet to come.
I hope so. That was good. Short, right to the point. Damn right.
Today officially marks 100 days of promises made and promises kept by President Trump. This has truly been the most historic start to a presidency in American history. The American people trust in President Trump. As President Trump has said before, the best is yet to come.
Yeah. Jeff, Ukraine is involved. Possibly. I'm blaming more of our deep state. Honestly, I am. Which, by the way, could be Ukraine, because Ukraine was known for decades as the biggest money laundering country, at least in the top 3 in the world. It has been known as one of the most corrupt in the world. It's like the Illinois of Europe. Oh, actually, it's almost like Illinois of the world. It's corrupt. It's openly known. It's one of the biggest money laundering places, but now we're going to send billions there without knowing where the fuck it's going. Half that money has disappeared. So if it's Ukraine, it's because somebody in our deep state, our CIA, NSA, whatever it is, sent somebody from Ukraine. They told Ukraine, hey, if you want us to keep laundering money through you, send somebody. Or something like that. Because, once again, suddenly they became so amazing, we had to start sending them tons of money. No, Jeff, in your opinion, I can agree. I think it's our deep state, but through Ukraine. At the very least, put this way, Jeff, the money they paid, whatever it took to set up going after Trump, was laundered through Ukraine. How do you think our government officials all end up millionaires real fast? AOC is worth well over $12 million now. She had a net worth of like $250,000 when she got in. Now she's suddenly, 6 years later? Something like that? She's worth $12 million? Don't seem to add up with her salary. We need I don't want Elon Musk to leave yet. I want him to doge everybody in our government. They should all be doged. They should all face a major audit. I want to know where that money came from. I also want a law passed. Goddamn Trump, I want you to do this one. This is the one I really want Trump to do. Get a law. I don't give you an executive order. No more buying and selling stock when you're in our government. No. Done. And your family, your moms, dads, brothers, sons, wives, husbands, your kids do not get to do it either. Nope. When you are in government, you are not. When you are making the laws, doing the things that cause the rise and fall of the stock market, and you know it, no more stock crap. I'm done with this. If Martha Stewart does it, it's insider trading. She goes to jail. Anybody else does it, insider trading, goes to jail. They do it all the time and end up multi-millionaires. Tired of it. Oh, yeah. Listen to Tulsi here. I still say she's pretty hot. All right. Competence is hot. All right, ready? Here we go.
Here we are. Today is the 100th day of the Trump-Vance administration, and there's been a lot of action, a lot of historic action to bring back our government to what it should be, a government of, by, and for the people. Now, President Trump has been very focused on a lot of things, first and foremost of which is ensuring the safety, security, and freedom of the American people. Our borders are secure, thanks to President Trump's leadership. Here at OD...
Which, by the way, not to interrupt Tulsi too much, remember, for 4 years, Democrats screeched and screamed. The president, the Congress, every Democrat, the deep state, well, there's nothing we can do. We need to pass comprehensive immigration reform, which is a term that anybody, I don't care what party, ever uses with you, you should already be looking at them with a stink eye and know they're full of shit. We need no comprehensive immigration reform. We have a shitload of immigration laws, and they're perfectly good. Enforcement is what we need. No, they wanted to reform it so they could get in, rip it open, and trash the bills that do the job and codify into law, then be able to bring in 1 million people, every 6 months, or 2 million people every 6 months. Legally, then. Trash the border, open it up, bring all these people in, make them citizens instantly. That's their idea of comprehensive immigration reform. So anybody, Democrat, Republican, that ever uses that with you, you stink eye. But yes, Trump showed how much they lied. He gets in, drops it from thousands and thousands coming across, a day to 894 1 month. 1 month we had only 894 come across. From thousands a day. From millions a year. Holy shit. He just showed how much every one of those assholes was lying to us. We can't do nothing. It just can't be done. Same way they tell you that, we can't do anything about China. We just have to take it. Just bend over and take it and just go to a happy place. We can't deal with a little bit of pain. Yeah, let's keep going till our country collapses or China owns us. Good plan.
BNI, our National Counterterrorism Center, has played a unique role in supporting the Department of Homeland Security, our Border Patrol, our local and state law enforcement in ensuring that security, in identifying those within our country, over 700 members of dangerous cartels, so they can be found and immediately taken out of our country. There's a lot more work to be done. President Trump is focused on ensuring our economic security. He is leading peace talks and negotiations with countries around the world to ensure that we can live in a truly peaceful, prosperous, and free.
Donald Trump is a unique individual. He has more energy at his age than people I know in their 30s. It's crazy, the energy. And the man, whether you like him or not, I'm not saying you have to, whatever, whether you like him or not, that man has kept more campaign promises than anybody in my lifetime. He's also done more in a shorter period than any president in my lifetime, even with 2 terms, did in their whole 2 terms. He's made every politician look bad. That's why even Republicans hate him. They're in there to play the game. Being there for 30, 40 years going, if you just elect me one more time, I'm trying so hard to work for you. Then they get in there and jack off and do nothing. They get nothing done because then they can run again on, I'm trying. I've worked so hard for you. But Trump gets in and totally does more in 6 months than some of these a-holes have done in 40 years. He showed the grift, made them look horrible. Love it.
Society. Now, this year, we are celebrating the 250th anniversary of the
that's going to be
founding of our
epic.
nation. And what better time for us to stand together as Americans and reignite that light of freedom that defines us and who we are.
250 years. Wow. Tell you what, Trump is going to make that a freaking celebration. Wow. Pelosi has been the greatest trade. Yes, she has out-traded even the top traders. Her and her husband both. Weird how that is, huh? Quinky dink. She is one of the most corrupt people. Her, Schiff, I forgot Tippy Turtle's name. The retiring jackass in the Senate, McConnell. Ugh. Like I said, I'm not a partisan. I will look at both sides. Just at this moment in time, the Democrats are the nuttiest. Jeff, I do agree with you. Tulsi definitely could. I will say, I wasn't a fan of Tulsi in 2016, but I think she was the best of the 2016 Democrat candidates. And if they hadn't purposely torpedoed her, average thing the Democrats do, the Democrats pick, and then they torpedo anybody that's not pure establishment. And she wasn't. She was an outsider to them, and they torpedoed her just like they did Bernie. And, yeah, she might have beat Trump. Honestly, you're right. And I don't agree with Tulsi and everything. Even Trump and Tulsi admit they don't agree on everything. But he put in her work in the section she and him agree on. Just like RFK and him. Don't agree on everything. But Trump knows how to make people good use. He puts them to good use in an area where they agree. And he knows they agree. And he knows that person will be good in that area. Trump doesn't have to agree with everybody. Once again, I've said before, he is the most unified unity administration in history. I don't think we can look back through the whole history of this country and see a more unity administration ever. He's got libertarians and Democrats, presidential candidate Democrats. He's got conservatives. He got a mix. He's got a hell of a mix. He's got white, brown. He don't give a shit. Female. Remember, Trump's sexist, but he has a lot of women in his stuff. He hates brown people. He has a good amount of brown people. Weird how this happens. It's almost like the left is lying. Oh, rat skin. Ugh. Didn't he have cancer? Probably not nice to cheer for the cancer, right? Yeah, Tulsi's got some issues, I agree. But Trump has put her in the right place. I like how Trump knows how to use people. And I'm not saying use in a bad way. How about this? He knows how to utilize people properly. Where they can do the best for themselves and us. I like that. Yeah, Ratskin. How's it going? No reply? Redskin still has his foreskin saved in a little book. Yeah. Oh, heck. I got to get off here in a little bit, guys. We'll spend a little more time. Even the caffeine is not keeping me up much more. But yeah, Trump's first 100 days. For me, and most people I know, it's epic. Yeah, we know there's some pain coming. And they go, oh, his poll numbers drop. Poll numbers always drop after an election. We're on the downslide after an election. People are stressed. They're coming down a little. And look at the prices. Some things have started to drop. The inflation rate is going down. Gas prices are down. Even the egg prices are down at least some. So we've seen a little relief, but I think we are going to go for some pain. Then a month and a half, maybe 2 months from now, the shortages are going to hit from the Chinese tariffs if they don't back down. But we got to do it. We cannot let China keep doing this. We can't stand it. So, yeah. I don't go with their numbers anyway. Because remember, these are the same pollsters who told us, oh, Trump's going to lose Iowa by 17 points. He won it by like 10. You guys are way off. Jeff Alt, he is cancer. Yeah. Ugh. Boy, if ever you were cheering for cancer, huh? I know it's not nice, but what a jeez. He had lymphoma, but that's not why he wore that hat on his head. He wore that because he had a horrible balding hair. He's got, oh, you're right. He has gotten the hair plugs. You are right. You know what? Didn't even think about it till you said something. Because I look back, I remember the older shots of him. Yeah, he's got that thinning hair like I got. But he's got the money to fix it. Nice one. No reply. Very nice. Did not realize. We need to save our future generations. Jeff, I totally agree. I agree. Not everything can be for us. Yeah. And people used to do things in the interest of the future. Things that they wouldn't see. Plant trees and set up businesses. Set up the country to do good and stuff where they know that they may never see any of it, if only very little. But they knew their kids, and the future generations, and the country itself would be better in the future. We used to be able to do that, and Trump is a throwback to that. He's in his 70s. He's looking at doing things now that he may never see the fruit of. But he's hoping for his kids, your kids, our kids, the country itself. Also, Trump has an ego. An ego can be a good thing because Trump wants to be liked. He wants to be remembered well. Somebody with an ego like his doesn't want to be remembered badly or forgotten. He tries to do good because of his ego. And I'll tell you what, no man goes through this when he's a billionaire and stands up and says, fight, 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 and still, after this happened to him, gets up and still goes through this if he doesn't believe. He's got to love the country and the people to do this. Or as a multi-billionaire, even with an ego, he would have walked away. So yeah. The Continental Army says, yes, Jeff, 100%. 100%. The forefathers, when they built this country too, they knew they were building something at that time that they may never see what it became. They knew they were starting a country. It takes time to build something, but they did it. They still went and did it. Pretty damned amazing, if you ask me. So for my part, I'm sure you guys too. Yeah. Congratulations on your first 100, Mr. Trump. Mr. President. Best president in my lifetime. Yes, I will say that. So yeah. I hope the next 100 go good. I do think we're going to have a dip, though, because of the tariff war with China. But sooner or later, we're going to win. Trump's already doing negotiations. A lot of countries are coming around and going, let's negotiate. They know they're going to lose. Canada is about to go into an epic depression if they don't start doing some deals. And parts of Canada may want to break off after this last election. And if the government of Canada keeps pushing this, sends everything into a spiral up there, Alberta may want to leave. I have a friend who actually snowbirds in America. He's a Canadian. He wants to now move to Canada. He wants to immigrate to America for good. He wants to become a citizen. He wants to leave Canada, and he's trying to get some of his other family to do the same. Says it's not going to get better. He says Canada may be a lost cause. He said he would move to Alberta if they left Canada, because then he could still kind of be in his home, but you know, kind of nuts. All right, let's move on here a little bit. All right, let's get to some bookmarks. Let me see what were we going to go with. As a 42-year-old childless retired single man, I'm going to die alone, and I've accepted it 100%. You never know, buddy. Depends what family or friends you got around you. You never know if you're going to be alone. There's always volunteers. There's always people, man. It's tough, though. My wife and I do not have children because my health problem, and she has some health conditions. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe you can adopt. Yeah. But don't give up on that, buddy. But either way, I'm betting you're still of the type where you know you can do stuff today that's going to benefit other people, and that will give you a little bit of solace. Not to get too deep, but as tired as I am, I may wander a little. All right. At the end of the day, it's not about what Washington elites think of Trump. It's about what hardworking people like this man and folks like us think that truly matters. 100%.
Happy 100
Let me see if I can get this to reverse, get my headphones kicked back on. I don't know why they disconnect sometimes. And then they got to reset them. So now let's see what it does.
Happy 100 days, Donald Trump. Happy 100 days, baby. Yes, sir. 100. Happy 100.
But wait a minute. How does that Browns man like Trump? Because Trump is literally the most racist person on earth. Oh, what did my laptop do? Whoa.
Happy 100 days, Donald Trump.
That was
you already
weird.
know it, baby. Happy 100 days, Donald Trump.
I don't know what my laptop is doing.
Happy 100 days, baby.
That was weird.
Yes, sir. 100. Happy 100.
Good man. Look at that.
100 days, Donald Trump.
Look at that. You see that outfit he's wearing? Look at that. Look at this outfit. That's a working man right there. That's a blue-collar working man. It's funny how a billionaire businessman, real estate mogul represents the blue-collar American better than a lot of politicians that aren't worth billions, isn't it? Isn't it crazy? It took a billionaire businessman to represent blue-collar, who connects with blue-collar, who can talk to blue-collar people without bullshit 5-minute answers that get you no real answer. He can talk average, make sense. So, of course, this man likes him. Yeah, fault. 56-year-old childless single male that will die. I don't love it. What? Oh, you talk about him. Okay, Jeff. Say, don't love that. I don't know, Jeff. Don't think that way. I mean, I don't want anybody to die alone. My mother may have died alone. I don't know, and I have a guilt over that. My mom got bad enough in life, partially for her own fault. She had some problems that she kind of helped put herself there, but my dad couldn't care for her anymore. I lived far enough away. I couldn't be there all the time. I had my own health condition. But she finally had to go to a home, and it wasn't a home that she should have been in. That's a whole other story. But she caught an infection, and they called and told my father and I she may be about to pass. I went and got my dad, and I had my Trans Am. We went out there. I think we probably hit about 133 on the way out there. Got there, and we spent hours with her. They found the infection, got meds over, got her started on meds, and they actually thought she was stabilizing. She went to sleep. They said they'd get a hold of us if anything changed. We still stayed with her for another hour after she went to sleep. She seemed sleeping just normally. Finally, we went home. My dad needed to get home, and I had to get some meds done. And my mother died about 4 hours later. And I've always prayed ever since that God help me. I hope she never woke up. I would not want her to be there alone and not. We got to tell her when she was conscious that we loved her and talked to her, held her hands, knew we were there. And I hope that's what she last thought of. But Jeff, no, buddy, guys, I don't want anybody to be dying alone. It's somebody. Somebody should be there for us at that end. And there are some people say, oh, we all die alone. Not really. That last thing, I hope my mom, her last memories are of me and my dad holding her hand, talking to her, telling her we loved her. That's what I hope. And I think we all deserve something like that, where it's a wife, a child, friends, family, something. Even if it's a butler, whatever, somebody. This is what gives me hope. We all reap what we sow. Well, Jeff, I agree. Sometimes the universe can be mean, just like Wile E. Coyote. Hey, half that shit Wile E. Coyote did should have worked. Tell me I'm wrong. half that crap Wile E. Coyote did should have worked. But the universe, the gods, did not like the coyote. And sometimes, as hard as we work, I admit it, I'm not bemoaning my standing in life or anything. But sometimes, as hard as any of us work, sometimes luck is not with us. Sometimes things just don't go our way. But Jeff, I like how you're looking at it. I like that you're looking at hope, how you're looking at the good. So yes, thank you. I'm happy to see that. I mean, I'm not going to say I haven't been through struggles. When you're dealing with a lifelong health problem like I've had, it can be overwhelming at times. But hey, I love that you're still looking at that hope, and stuff like this gives you hope. This man here, Trump, people talking. So I like that. All right, let's move on. Let's try to get done here. I'm on a little later than I wanted to be. Let me check Grumble real quick. Yeah, Grumble is rolling. To the 4 or 5 people on Rumble, hello. How you doing? Let's see. Meme of the day. Yeah, this is Canada right here. Got old black-faced Trudeau there with his hand right up the Canadians' behinds. Can't take this any longer. And here comes Carney, their new guy. Takes the glove. Maybe this one will be better. I don't think so. And I'm going to crap on Canadians. Canada, you morons. Like Jeff Alt did. We reap what we sow. Well, I hope you reap everything you just sowed, you stupid idiots. You are dumb as shit because of your TDS, because Trump's saying some stuff. You are going to vote in opposition of what's good for your country. You are morons and deserve everything that comes to you now. You deserve, because Carney is much, much, much more left than Trudeau. And yes, I know some people in Canada say, well, but in our parliament, a lot of righties won, so they're going to put up an opposition to Carney. But can they stop him? No. You just put yourself under the thumb of even more leftism. Much more farther leftism, as a matter of fact. A guy who is very, 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 very friendly with China. So Canada, you deserve everything you get. And the next picture on this cartoon would be this guy, Mark Carney, with both of his hands up your butts now. If you go into a depression or your country breaks up, you did it. Over stupid comments and hatred. Should Trump maybe not have said some of it? Maybe. But he pokes. And the fact is, if you're so stupid over his comments, you will vote your country into a problem, then screw you. You don't deserve your country. You do not. You are... I'm sorry, Jeff. That one simple, why, Canada, why? Exactly. You guys are dumb as the voters of Illinois. Yep, I'm stuck in Illinois, and I'll tell you what, the voters in Illinois are dumb as shit. Mostly Chicago. I'm on a lot of Facebook pages in Illinois, and they're always bitching and whining, and all I do is ask, who'd you vote for? Well, Democrats, then fuck you. Get the fuck off here and shut up. I have no patience for you. Who are you going to vote for the next election? Well, Democrat. Then shut up. Blind hatred is destructive, 100%. And right now, the Democrats have spent 10 years through their media, their government agents, programming the lefty smooth brains, the sheeple, to be hate-filled. They hate Trump. They don't know facts. They hate Trump. Biden's whole last administration, he ran based on a lie from Charlottesville. People at tiki churches and Trump saying good people and the white supremacists. Never happened. He lied. His whole presidency was based on a lie. And these people believe this shit. They are smooth-brained, brainwashed morons. So yeah, they are blind hate now because they've been programmed that Trump is worse than I like to say he's worse than Hans Gruber. Yeah, you know what movie he was the bad guy in? Come on. The greatest action movie ever made, in my opinion. And I love that movie. Love it. Even though the star in that also made probably my favorite sci-fi movie of all time. or at least in the top 5. All right. So, whoever made this meme deserves a raise. Boy, isn't that true. If there was ever a lizard person, she's it. My God. This is my little X or Twitter roundup at the end here. Dude, this is something. I didn't even hear about this in the news. And I only put this on, but I was only running into it just when I was doing research later this evening. We got back from dog obedience class. I was like, what? And this is from like a day ago when I was looking it up. Hamas supporters are being arrested on the subways by the New York Police Department. There's no way these losers have jobs if they're out protesting this time of day. Who's paying them? 100%. This is nuts. I love this crap. It's time we start. We may have to go a little old school policing, but these people are stupid. Speaking of blind hatred, Jeff, these people are dumb. Half these people, especially in America, have no clue what they're protesting. Do I think Israel is always right? No. But if I got to pick a big evil, or if I got to choose between two evils, I'm choosing Israel. Israel is much, much better than the Gazans, a non-existent country and people, by the way, and Hamas. I keep saying it, we need to turn our back. The whole world needs to turn their back and let this war be ended. You say, you turn your back, go, we'll talk to you in a year. You guys hash this out for once and for all. We don't want to hear it ever again. But every one of these dum-dums has no idea what they're doing. It's this hatred of Jewish people that is crazy. There is Jewish derangement syndrome just like there is Trump derangement syndrome. Jews control everything. No, they don't. They're a very small amount of rich people, but they're not in control of everything. They control America. You're morons. Greatest country in the world is controlled by Jewish people. Shut up. But these people, Hamas is not some fuzzy thing. And 90% of these people, if they were over in Gaza, Hamas would have no problem offing them. They'd be going, we're allies. Pfft, they could care less. They'll saw your head off with a grapefruit spoon. People are stupid. My favorite one's the gays for Hamas. Oh my Lord. So yeah, Jeff, you're right. Blind hatred is destructive. Unfortunately, so is blind stupidity, and we have a lot of it. Democrats and stupid people are like zombies. One of them isn't too dangerous, but boy, you get them in groups, oh shit. Amazing how that works for both Democrats and zombies, isn't it? Why? Because they're both brain dead. All right, now this made me laugh, and the left crying about it. MSNBC melts down after Trump puts up mugshots of illegals in the White House, but he also listed their crimes. They blurred them. They blurred them out. I mean, how stupid is that? And here's a lot of the scumbags he put up there. Yep, I can't blow that up anymore, but yeah, a lot of it is what you see, right? Let me see. Can I get? No, I can't get that to blow up anymore here. But it's right here. You can see SA of a child. Yes, I can't say that word on here. Those two words together. SA on a child. Yeah, a lot of crap. It's insane what they were. But oh my God. I mean, yeah, it's just stupid, all this, how they just threw a fit about it. Oh, here we go. Here's a good one. Look at that. Lewd acts in front of a child. Now, isn't it weird how many of these people come in here either end Americans or do weird crap to kids? And remember, the Biden administration, a lot of people in our immigration services knew they were coming over trafficking people, knew a lot of these people here were criminals and still participated. Everybody in the Biden administration should be arrested. They facilitated child trafficking and they got Americans ended. Americans were killed because of the Biden administration, because of their lust for power. His handlers, Biden was too dumb to know what he was doing most of the time. Their lust for power, they gave a less than a shit about Americans. The American women getting interfered with, American kids, Americans that are not with us anymore. They didn't care. They lied and said, well, we can't do nothing about the border. Except Trump comes in and within a month, done. They purposely got Americans killed and did jack shit. Jack shit. I would love, in a perfect world, I would love to see arrests of everybody in the Biden administration, at least Mayorkas, Biden's handlers, Biden's cabinet, stuff like that, because they should be in jail, every one of them. And look at this. Look at all the essays, certain types of assault, and then the endings. And this is just a small bit of them, and it just goes on and on and on and on. This is a small bit. And what is it with them touching kids? It's crazy. Ugh. Just nuts. And I like how they listed what they'd been nailed for. Yeah. Another transnational gang member robbing in Oakland. Valdez is a Chilean national, is in U.S. illegally with a criminal record. She'll be rounded up and deported January 20th. What? According to President Trump. Okay. So this is old, but they listed it today because I think they went and got her. And then there's another one. This chick in Detroit. They keep calling. Remember the Maryland man hoax? He wasn't a Maryland man. He was an El Salvadoran citizen. Salvadoran. Now this Detroit woman, she's a Guatemalan illegal. Yeah, and she'd also been involved in some problems. Whoopsie. Now the Detroit woman. Oh no, Guatemalan illegal. By the way, they found out more about Abrego Garcia. In 2018, he'd been in some other trouble. In fact, the husband, take it for what it is, the husband of Abrego Garcia's wife, her ex, was going to the courts about Garcia because saying he was abusing his kids. Garcia was abusing this guy's kids. Woof. See? Illegal immigrant charged with ending a 25-year-old Michigan woman was deported under Trump administration. Later came back through Biden's wide open border. $10 billion is too much for a wall, but $100 billion for Ukraine is not enough. Yep. Now, this is the last thing we're going to talk about real quick because I'm getting really tired. But this is about the Judge Dugan. This jackass. This is PBS. Our tax dollars need to not be going to these fucking people anymore. Yes, it was illegal, but it was also heroic. Yeah. Now, if you don't know, this judge helped an illegal alien escape from ICE, even though they caught him later. Right in front. Now, this guy was in court because he had assaulted and beat the crap out of people. The defendants were right there in court trying to get justice against this illegal alien. And right in front of them, she adjourns court, right in front of the victims, and goes and ushers him out of a back door to avoid ICE. A guy who had beat the living crap out of an American citizen, at least once. Well, she got arrested. Now the left is having a cow. Yes, it was illegal, but it was also heroic. Heroic to help an illegal alien who beat the crap out of an American citizen escape. That's not heroic. That is brainwashed, jackassed TDS. Judge Dugan shielded Eduardo Flores Ruiz from being arrested by ICE. Yeah, well, they still caught him. A big foot chase, but they caught his ass. Eduardo Flores Ruiz is an illegal immigrant with 3 counts of misdemeanor battery, domestic violence, and inflicting of physical harm. And he was in court, this time for more assault. But this guy, no. Yeah.
If federal enforcement agencies come to your courtroom and you help a guy escape, that is two things. One, it strikes me as maybe something illegal, but it also strikes me as something heroic.
Really?
If federal enforcement agencies come to your courtroom and you help a guy escape, that is two things. One, it strikes me as maybe something illegal.
100% done. And it's not heroic. If the guy was some falsely accused guy in a movie, fine. But this guy has a criminal record and he's an illegal. And he's in court again for another assault on an American. Now, here's my problem. This guy was also ushered out with his lawyer. His lawyer helped steer him and get him out of the elevator and down. His lawyer should be arrested. Nobody's talking about that. This Flores Ruiz's lawyer should be disbarred and imprisoned now. You are supposed to give your client the best defense possible. You are not supposed to break the law. They broke the law by helping this guy escape from ICE. So that, not only should the judge be in jail, but also so should his lawyer. That man should never practice, or woman, never practice law ever again. So yeah. But yeah, he was in jail in this time because he beat up a man and a woman and sent them to the hospital. Stupid. Idolizing. Now this is nice. This is where they actually get some realism.
Let's strip the Trump.
This is
Looking
realism.
at the complaint. Let's strip the politics out of it. This is a crime. If they can prove what happened here, it is a crime.
I love her snarky face. I know you guys can't see it real well here. She has the biggest snark bitch face on TV. She just does. But I like this guy's honesty. She broke the law. 100%.
Judge, let's strip the Trump of it all out. Let's strip the immigration of it all out. Let's say law enforcement shows up at a building with an arrest warrant. They're looking for person A. Person B then says, hey, there's a secret escape door out back. I'm going to show you the way, and then ushers that person out the back door. That is textbook obstruction. Looking at 100%. The complaint, let's strip the politics out of it.
100%. That's it. Done. Miss Snark Face here. She can be bitchy as she wants. You can give the snark face the scowl as much as you want. It was stupid. She broke the law. And by the way, if you and I break the law and we go, well, we didn't know that was illegal. Well, ignorance of the law is no excuse. This bitch is a lawyer. She is a judge. She knew she was breaking the law. There's not even a hint of her not knowing. The fact that she kept the jury box empty, moved them, and made sure that was open so this guy could escape. That she helped him out the back door. That his lawyer went along with this. His lawyer helped this guy escape. Both did illegal. The lawyer should be arrested. Jeff Alt, zombies are starving for brains too. 100%. Dead on, Jeff. Leave no American behind. 100%. I don't give a shit. There is no American life, even a criminal American's life, that is worth an illegal coming in here. I'm done. Americans first. That is all there is to it. I do not want one American losing their life because we want to feel good about ourselves and bringing in illegals. And they weren't doing it to feel good. They're doing it for power. So yeah. ABC's Peter Thomas hypes the arrest of Judge Hannah Dugan as a major escalation. Nope. That bitch escalated. She broke the law. She helped a criminal assaulting Americans multiple times escape. Jail her ass. Yeah, I went through that a lot. All right, guys. I think I am going to get out of here. Now, let's see. Which one are we going to choose? We want the assassination. I like to end on one of these. Let's end on the crazy one. This one is nutso. But then I will say goodbye right after this. I better turn that down, so I'm going to get nailed sooner or later on that music. There we go. That's why I talk a little during it. Weird Japanese ad from 2016. I can't tell if she loves Trump or if he's going to destroy the world, if that's what she's thinking. I don't know. Bam, 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 bam. I haven't hit on it yet, but we'll see how that goes. Japanese are weird people. Weird, 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 weird. Okay, she seems to love him, but there's rockets going off. He's in a mech suit. He's in a Gundam suit. So then he destroys
2016.
Trumpa 2016. So was that a good Trump ad? I could never figure it out. She loves him, hugs him, has pictures of him, got him doing this weird thing, and but then he goes in a Gundam suit and blows up the Earth. I don't get it. Hey, no problem, Jeff. You have a good one too, buddy. I got to get to bed, and I got to get up in about 3.5 hours for the guy to come look at the concrete in my garage, and then hopefully get back to sleep a little bit, get up, do treatments, and gym, and mow my dad's grass and everything else today. Jeff, you have a good one. No reply to all you guys lurking in the background on both YouTube and Rumble. Hope you have a good day. Thanks for stopping by. Please hit thumbs up. Subscribe if you like anything I said. And it looks like the YouTube algorithm did not favor me this time. Last stream, it really was showing me to other people. Weird. YouTube's algorithm is so irregular. But thank you very much for stopping in, guys. And hey, let's hope Trump has an amazing next 100 days. Also, one last question. Now, in the background here, my little screensaver running. What movie do you think that is from? It is a 1980s sci-fi movie. Flying cars, big dark-looking city with fog. Let me know. I know. Oh, me moving my hands around is causing the white balance to go off of my camera because of the red in the background. All right, Jeff, you have a good one. Don't play with nuts too long, buddy. I'll talk to you later. I hope you have a very good Wednesday, Jeff. You know it is Wednesday, so hey, you already started off good. All right, talk to y'all later. Have a good one. I don't know if I'm going to do another stream today, as I got a hell of a day, and boy, I am not sleeping right now, so have a good one. Woohoo!